Let me challenge something most people believe without question. The idea that losing strength as you age is simply natural, normal, unavoidable. That the frailty you see in older people, the slow movements, the trembling hands, the inability to rise from a chair without help, is just what happens. It isn't. In the majority of cases, it is the result of a diagnosable, measurable, partially preventable disease, one that medicine officially recognized only in 2016, one that affects up to 1 in 3 adults under 60 right now without any of them knowing. It's called sarcopenia, and this video is about what it actually is, when it actually starts, and the 3-step minimum effective dose protocol the research says can reverse it, even in people who have never trained a day in their lives. Don't skip ahead. The second step is where even health-conscious people who exercise regularly, who eat clean, are unknowingly failing every single day. We'll get there, but the order matters. Everything builds on the step before it. Sarcopenia, from the Greek, sarx, flesh, penia, poverty. Muscle poverty. But that definition doesn't capture what this actually means for a life. Sarcopenia isn't just muscle loss. It's the loss of your freedom. One year you're hiking, the next you're calculating whether you can make it to the kitchen without stopping. In 2019, the European Working Group on Sarcopenia updated its definition. The primary diagnostic marker is not how much muscle you have, it's how strong you are. Strength first, mass is confirmatory. Reduced physical performance signals the severe stage. A 2022 global meta-analysis analyzed 263 studies and over 692,000 people. Their finding? Sarcopenia affects 8 to 36% of adults under 60. Not just the elderly, under 60. Why doesn't anyone know about this? 2 reasons. First, you can't feel it happening. No pain signal, no alarm. Sarcopenia progresses silently, right up until the day it announces itself, through a fall, or a surgery you don't recover from as expected. Second, we've normalized it. I'm just getting older. My balance isn't what it was. These aren't just the noise of aging. In many cases, they are the specific, measurable signature of progressive muscle loss. Picture your body at 80. What does that look like? Traveling on your own terms? Playing on the floor with grandchildren? Or waiting for help? Right now, in this decade, you are writing that scene. We know what sarcopenia is. We know how widespread it is. But the question nobody asks, the one that changes how you think about this entire decade, is when. The answer is earlier than any mainstream health content will tell you. Age 30, not 60, not 70, 30. From approximately age 30, adults lose skeletal muscle at roughly 3 to 5% per decade. Invisible in your 30s and 40s, slow compounding. After 60, the slope steepens, around 1% per year for muscle mass, and strength declines even faster. By your 70s, you could have lost up to 20 to 30% of the muscle mass you had at your peak. 4 biological mechanisms drive this. First, anabolic resistance. Aging muscle becomes resistant to the protein signal. The mTOR pathway needs a stronger stimulus to produce the same response. This is why standard protein advice fails older adults in ways it doesn't fail younger ones. Second, motor neuron loss. Your fast twitch fibers, the ones that fire in milliseconds to catch you when you slip, are lost first. When those are gone, a stumble becomes a fall. Think of your fast twitch fibers as your biological emergency response system. It's not a conscious decision that catches you. It's those fibers firing before your brain has even registered the slip. Sarcopenia dismantles that system, quietly, over decades. Third, the hormonal shift. Testosterone, growth hormone, IGF-1, the maintenance crew that quietly repaired your muscle tissue every night. Their decline removes a scaffold that was doing that work invisibly for decades. Fourth, inflammaging, chronic low-grade systemic inflammation. Elevated IL-6 and TNF-alpha suppress muscle synthesis while accelerating breakdown. You're building less and losing more. 4 forces running right now working against your muscle tissue. If you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, you're in the window where the damage is invisible but still reversible. That window doesn't stay open forever. 4 mechanisms, 3 warning signals. Now we fight back. Step 1 is the stimulus. Step 2 is the material. Step 3 removes the interference. Remove any one, the others run at reduced capacity. Step 2 is where most people fail. 90 seconds. The most evidence-based intervention for sarcopenia is progressive resistance training. Not walking, not yoga. For reversing sarcopenic muscle loss, resistance training is the primary tool. And the evidence quality is about as strong as exercise science gets. A 2023 network meta-analysis, 42 randomized controlled trials, 3,728 participants with diagnosed sarcopenia, applied the GRADE framework. Conclusion: resistance training produced high to moderate quality evidence for improving muscle strength and physical function. That is the gold standard of research classification. The minimum effective dose: 2 to 3 sessions per week. 60 to 80% of your 1 repetition maximum, or sets taken to near failure. Compound movements, squats, hinges, rows, presses, and progressively increase the challenge over time. Most people plateau because they remove progressive and keep only training. Every heavy squat sends a signal. This tissue is still required. Keep it. Build it. Sarcopenia is what happens when that signal stops being sent. Resistance training is how you keep transmitting it, loudly, across every decade. Step 1 creates the demand. Step 2 supplies the raw material. And this is where I see people fail, not through poor food choices, but through one specific error the research has identified precisely. It comes down to a threshold most people have never heard of. Before I get into the numbers, one thing worth saying. The leucine threshold mechanics I'm about to explain are genuinely counterintuitive, and this is where I see the most confusion even among health-conscious people. I'm not here to prescribe what you eat. I'm here to share what the research shows about how protein actually works in aging muscle, and let you decide what to do with that. You can train perfectly and still lose muscle. How? By chronically failing to cross the leucine threshold. Muscle protein synthesis is triggered by leucine, a branched-chain amino acid that activates the mTOR pathway in muscle cells. To fire a meaningful anabolic response, you need to hit that threshold in a single sitting. Eat below it, regardless of your daily total, and the signal doesn't go out. A meta-analysis of 49 studies, 1,863 participants, found that protein supplementation significantly increased muscle mass and strength during resistance training. Benefits plateaued at approximately 1.62 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. And critically, protein's efficacy decreased with age, confirming that older adults need higher doses to get the same response. Target: 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, not the 0.8 gram RDA, designed to prevent deficiency in the general adult population, not to optimize muscle health in aging adults. Across 3 to 4 meals. Each meal, 25 to 40 grams of high-quality, leucine-rich protein. Take a look at the options. For breakfast, a tofu scramble with spinach, cherry tomatoes, turmeric, and black pepper. 30+ grams, and it tastes like something you'd actually want. Lunch, tempeh and red lentil dal, ginger, cumin, coriander, over brown rice. Warming, filling, clears the leucine threshold easily. Post-training, pea and rice protein blended with frozen mango and spinach. 30 grams in 90 seconds. And dinner, tofu stir-fry, edamame, garlic, ginger, sesame, and tamari over buckwheat noodles. This one works every time. You might wonder why eggs and chicken are in the table at all, and why red meat and whey aren't. Let me be transparent about that. Eggs. The evidence here is genuinely mixed, and I want to be straight with you about that. Some large meta-analyses find no significant association between moderate egg consumption and mortality. Others, including a 2022 dose-response analysis across nearly 2.8 million people, found elevated risk starting above roughly half an egg per day, around 3 to 4 eggs a week. The honest takeaway? Eggs can work as an occasional protein source. They shouldn't be your daily foundation. For people who eat animal products, they're a practical option in rotation, not a staple. Chicken. Of all the animal protein options, unprocessed poultry has the most favorable health evidence. The EPIC study, nearly 450,000 participants, found that poultry was not associated with all-cause mortality. Some large studies actually show a modest protective association. Unprocessed chicken or turkey in moderation is among the more defensible choices if you include animal products. It still has an environmental footprint, lower than beef, but real. That's why it's in the table, with moderate amounts. Red meat, not in the table. An umbrella review of 40 meta-analyses found high intake, especially processed, significantly associated with all-cause mortality and cardiovascular disease. The muscle science and the longevity science have to be consistent. They're not, if red meat is in the protocol. Whey and dairy, not the default. Same animal agriculture system, land, water, methane costs. A pea and rice protein blend delivers the same leucine profile. It works just as well. That's the cleaner recommendation. One more note that connects to the supplement section coming up. The same ocean sustainability concern applies to fish as a primary protein source. That's why the meal table stays land-based. And it's why the only omega-3 I recommend is algae-derived. More on that in a moment. The bottom line: if you eat some animal products, eggs in moderation and unprocessed poultry are the most defensible options the research supports. If you can build your meals primarily from the plant column, that is what this channel recommends, for your longevity and for the planet. Not as an agenda, as an honest reading of the evidence. I can already see some of you typing, "Soy will make you feminine." I get it. The concern sounds plausible. But this has been directly tested. 2 independent meta-analyses, Hamilton Reeves and colleagues in 2010 and Reed and colleagues in 2021, found no significant effect of soy or isoflavones on testosterone or estrogen levels in men at normal dietary amounts. The fear is widespread. The biology behind it doesn't hold up. Full breakdown in a dedicated video. Don't let the myth cut you off from one of the most practical protein sources available. Every meal is a biological decision. You either crossed the leucine threshold and triggered a synthesis signal, or you didn't. The 75-year-old version of you does not care whether the meal felt healthy. They care whether it was enough. 2 steps in. The stimulus is there. The raw material is sufficient. But there is a third dimension that neither training nor protein can reach alone. Without it, steps 1 and 2 are working well below their potential. If you want to integrate steps like this into your daily routine, consider subscribing. We break down the science of longevity every week so you can build a measurably healthier lifestyle. Step 3 is where your investment in steps 1 and 2 either compounds or dissipates. Growth hormone, one of the body's principal anabolic signals, alongside testosterone and IGF-1, is secreted in its largest daily pulse during your first cycles of deep sleep. This is not passive recovery. It is active tissue repair. The evidence is consistent. Insufficient sleep measurably undermines muscle building, including a study showing 60% greater lean mass loss at 5.5 hours versus 8.5 hours of sleep, and separate research confirming reduced muscle protein synthesis rates after just 5 nights of restricted sleep. Target: 7 to 9 hours. Consistent timing. Minimal late-night alcohol, which suppresses deep sleep even at small doses. Limit late-night blue light. 2 supplements earn an evidence-based mention. Creatine monohydrate. A 2021 meta-analysis confirmed it significantly increases lean mass and strength in older adults when combined with resistance training. 3 to 5 grams daily. No loading phase required. Omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, show promising anti-inflammatory effects and some muscle benefits in individual trials. But a 2024 meta-analysis found no significant pooled effect on muscle protein synthesis rates. The evidence is mixed. The strongest case is their role in reducing IL-6 and TNF-alpha, the cytokines that suppress your muscle-building machinery. 2 to 4 grams of EPA and DHA daily. I'm only recommending algae-derived EPA and DHA, not fish oil. I already raised the concern about ocean sustainability in the protein section. Fish get their omega-3 from algae in the first place. Algae oil is just the direct source. Same active compounds, no ocean pressure. And the most overlooked element? Break the sedentary time. Exercise cannot compensate for the catabolic effects of prolonged, uninterrupted sitting. Brief movement every 45 to 60 minutes. Carry loads, post-meal walks. These aren't exercises. They're the continuous signal that tells your body this tissue is still being used. 3 steps: the stimulus, the substrate, the environment. Remove any one, the protocol collapses. Apply all 3, and the research on what becomes possible is, honestly, extraordinary. There are 2 futures available to you. In one, Sarcopenia runs its default program. Muscle disappears at the biologically prescribed rate. The fast twitch fibers go offline. One day, a fall, or a surgery you don't recover from as expected. In the other, you made a decision. Not a dramatic one, not a perfect one, a consistent one. A systematic review of 57 studies, over 42,000 participants, found sarcopenia significantly associated with all-cause mortality across community-dwelling adults, outpatients, inpatients, and nursing home residents. Consistently, without exception. But the same research also shows sarcopenia is not inevitable. Meaningful muscle and strength gains have been produced in adults in their 80s who had never formally trained before. The biology is responsive to the right signal. The question is only whether you're sending it. If you're in your 30s or 40s, you're standing in the window of maximum return. The muscle you build now is your biological insurance policy, the reserve that protects you when surgery, illness, or injury tries to take it. If you're in your 50s, 60s, or even 70s, the window is narrower, the urgency higher. And the research is explicit: it is not too late. Your instruction is one thing, not a list. This week, complete 3 resistance training sessions. Not walks, not yoga. Progressive resistance training with loads that challenge you. Log them, name them, make them real. The protein and the sleep are the force multipliers. But the training signal is what tells your body this tissue is still necessary. Without it, everything else is background noise. Start there. The clock on sarcopenia doesn't pause, but you can change the direction. Go.